Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
What was that show that everybody was into? The Walking Dead. Wasn't that one? Yeah, all about the zombies and stuff like that. So this is your zombie and vampire sermon. Prepare yourself. Like, I didn't sign up for that this morning. I got up and I thought it was going to be nice going to church. And she's going to talk about zombies and vampires and stuff. But here's the thing. That reading should make you feel a little bit queasy. Okay? Like, if you don't feel a little bit queasy about eating people and drinking their blood, I don't know how to help you. I don't know. That might be a comfort. Come to me and I will refer you to somebody. But please come to me, because if you're out there being like, yeah, flesh and blood, yeah, we need to talk. And here's the thing. At that time, they had the same reaction that you in your gut are having. Now, I realize that we've had a couple thousand years of softening this up. So we're all like, yeah, we eat Jesus every Sunday, NBD, whatever. Yeah, that's what it means to be a Christian. Yeah. But that's because we understand that's a metaphor. So the next time someone tells you the Bible is literal, you point to this passage and be like, If it's literal, I got something else to do with my time. So it's disturbing at the time. And in fact, one of the reasons that there was a lot of clash against the early Christians was that they were called cannibals, because this is disgusting. It's gross. And to talk about eating and drinking your leader is disturbing. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I'm going to tell you, the Bible's not literal. If that shocks anyone here, come see me. I'm not going to refer you anywhere, but we're going to talk. It's not meant to be literal. Jesus is using metaphor because what can happen for many of us, and this is true of all of us, myself included, every single one of us as humans likes to take on the cloak of Christianity when it's convenient to you, right? So we might go on Christmas because that's fun. The family likes to go. And there's nothing more beautiful than walking out of a midnight Eve service and it's snowing, and except for like last year when I made you come to Christmas Eve service. And it was beautiful, but y'all are like, I hate you, Meg. Don't do that again. But so we like to take on the cloak, the mantle of Christianity when it's convenient. Like when we're in a discussion with somebody, and if you are on my Facebook, you'll notice that my new frame for my Facebook picture is, love thy neighbor, wear a mask, get a vaccine, right? So we take on this cloak of Christianity when it's convenient. It's very convenient to me to use that biblical verse because it fits for my narrative of what I believe, right? But Jesus is making it very clear here that Christianity is not a cloak that we put on. It's not like you're going to the country club and you finally have to put on a blazer. So you're like, okay, so in the church that I served before this one, now this was not when I was there, okay? But not that long before I arrived, they had a strict policy that men needed to be wearing jackets. Women need to be in dresses and men need to be in jackets. But that's okay. If you showed up and you weren't wearing a sports coat, they had some. I'll let you know what my response to this attitude was. But there's this idea that when we become Christians, we can just take it on and we can take it off, right? So if like you're in a debate with your friends and it does not fit your narrative in that particular moment to be like, yeah, I'm a Christian, you drop it, right? Because it's not convenient to you. And we're good Episcopalians, and we're like, yeah, I'll take it on, I'll take it off. NBD. That's the second time. You can tell I'm back at work at school, can't you? I'm back to like using acronyms that these kids use. But you just take it on and take it off. The purpose of this imagery of consuming Christ is because when we consume something, we literally become that thing. That thing is taken into us, and we become part of it, and it becomes part of us. That is what the Christian faith is supposed to be. We consume and are consumed by being Christian. It is literally in our DNA. And we gather every Sunday because guess what? It's hard to do that during the rest of the week, isn't it? It is super hard. It's got to be in our very DNA, in every single pore and cell. It's not something that we take on and off. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm going to be at St. Anne's today. Put on the collar. Act like Jesus. Oh, going to Liberty today. Going to be a social worker. Going to be a counselor, whatever. Going to be in that. Leave Jesus at home. It doesn't work that way. It is in literally every piece of us. It consumes us. We are consumed by it. That is how it works. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm rocking a collar when I go into a school, does it? I'm not rocking this collar most of the time. But am I a Christian most of these times? Am I called to live as Jesus calls us to live all the time? Yes. It is not about appearances. It's not about what you and I wear. It's not about tattoos or whether or not you have the necklace or whether or not you're wearing the shirt or any of those things, because it is literally who we are. We are consumed by Christ. We consume Christ. We are one and the same. Our being is changed. And I talked a little bit about Eucharistic theology last week. God bless you. You came back. That's cute. Eucharistic theology is complicated. But really, it is about substance changes, right? And here in the Episcopal Church, we have a whole long line where you can come on to it. There are people who are transubstantiation, Roman Catholic. I do my little magic thing. Did you know these are my magic fingers? These are the ones, because that's the ones Bishop blesses. These are my magic fingers. So there's that whole thing that I do magic. If you think I do magic, I will refer you to someone. Okay. And then there's a whole nother side. There's just like, it's just kind of this thing we do, and it's cute, and it's fun, and it reminds us of what Jesus did. It doesn't really mean anything, doesn't do anything, but it's fun, right? It's like a reenactment. It's kind of more fun than the Civil War one, but it's a reenactment. And there's this whole long spectrum. And you want to know what theologians debate about? Because we all need things to fight about, right? I mean, literally, humans can argue about anything. What we fight about is substance changes. And when we are arguing about what technically happens, we're missing the point. Just like if you read today's gospel and you're like, vampires eating Jesus, that's creepy, you're missing the point because you're so obsessed with the technicalities. It's got to be this, it's got to be that. That's missing the point because it's all about what the meaning is. What is Jesus communicating to us? It is not about where you land on this spectrum. No, I think it's great for you to know where you land on the spectrum and explore it, and chances are you're going to move from place to place. And that's cool because when you come to this table, every single place on that spectrum is welcome and embraced. But really, the most important thing that Jesus is saying to us is that when we take communion, when we take the body and blood of Christ, when we consume all that is Christ, we become part of the body of Christ. Always, not something that we take on, but every fiber of our being is changed. That's the change. That's the stuff that matters. Not what I do with my magic fingers to bread and wine, but what happens to us. Are we transformed? Are we transfigured into the face of Christ? And sometimes it takes doing that again and again and again. It's because it's so huge. Because it's easy to be a Christian right now, isn't it? You're sitting there, you're not having to worry about anyone else. You're like, I got this Jesus thing down. Yes, Jesus. People are awesome. And then you're going to walk out of here, and you'll be like, Humans are awful. Humans are terrible. So it is when we are here being fed, consumed, and consuming that we become equipped to do the stuff that we're called to do out there, because you and I are Christ in the world. Every single one of us is called to be Christ in the world. It is not something that we take on and off. You do not get to decide, today I'll be a Christian. Tomorrow, I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. Depends on the setting. It is who we are all the time. Don't worry about the blood. Don't worry about the flesh. Worry about your blood and your flesh, because are they one and the same as Christ?
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
I feel like I always have a cute